improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, so man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is June 2nd, Monday, 2025. We're here in Pride Month. I guess congratulations, maybe, or welcome to Pride Month. This is where we celebrate all of the people and the L's and the B's and the G's and the D's and the Q's and the pluses. Don't forget about them because that's everybody else. Are heterosexual people included in the pluses or no? You have to be no? Okay. Ricky, you may know more than me. Fair enough. But let's celebrate Pride Month with the prideful people. It also is a month where basically straight white women get to play dress up. And then they also can kind of covertly or maybe overtly relate to being a minority, because I'm starting to think that being some kind of a protected class or being some kind of a minority is cool for a couple of reasons, because you can blame oppression for why you make bad decisions. Give it some real serious thought. It's got to be rough being a white person, like a normal, regular, straight, heterosexual, normal white person with like all of your limbs, just a normal white person, because you get blamed for everything. You get blamed for oppression and white supremacy, and you get blamed for white privilege. When you get pulled over by the police, you can just flash your white card and the police will let you go. The police might even escort you to where you need to be sometimes if you're white. So doesn't that suck, having all that pressure put on you? Because the first thing the white folks will say is they'll say something like, oh, I'm an ally. You know, I really want to be there for you because I feel bad about being white. I don't ever want a white person to feel bad about being white. It's like if you were born rich, don't apologize for that. If you were born with an advantage, you didn't do anything to get it. Congratulations, you have an advantage. But it seems as we become more politically correct, that being white might be being just normal, regular white. Regular. I feel like that's oppressive, me just saying regular white. But being a white person that doesn't have any other minority attributes, a straight, heterosexual, cisgender, white man or woman, may feel some guilt because they get blamed for everything. Either they feel guilt or they get angry at everybody and they lash out and they become Trumpers. So what straight white women sometimes do, and I don't know if straight white men do this, is like the straight white woman kissed a girl in college in a bar. Now she identifies as bisexual, so now she can like be a part of pride because nobody's going to question the fact that she might be bisexual, and the threshold for her being bisexual is so incredibly low, and no one's going to question that because you get in trouble if you question somebody's identifying characteristics. And it just seems to me, and I talk about this every single Pride Month, that white women, they play dress up. They're the most outrageous when it comes to pride. They're wearing the feather boas. They're dressed half naked because they get to relate to being a minority and lose all sorts of responsibility. I don't want anyone to mistakenly confuse being of a protected class / minority as an excuse for people to be irresponsible. And I think that we make it that way. So black folks, we're always asking for stuff, and rightfully so because we're owed stuff. But it also seems like we are incapable of getting those things ourselves. So we'll hate white people, we'll hate white supremacy, and we'll tell you 6 ways from Sunday how much we hate it. Oh, we can't stand them and every white person is racist. But at the same time, hi, white people, will you please join us and help us clean up our dirty neighborhoods because we can't pick up our own garbage? Oh, by the way, white people, can you give us a few $1 million out of your pockets because, you know, slavery, can you please pay us? But at the same time, we hate your guts. It's very confusing. I just don't like that being a protected class, being a minority, means that you are deficient in some kind of way and reliant on somebody else. But if you are in a non-protected class, I need you to follow me here. I'm going kind of deep on this second day of Pride Month. Now, we got a whole month to talk about it. Actually, probably not. I probably won't talk about anything relating to Pride after like 3 days. But if you have privilege, you have never faced a barrier because of the color of your skin or your nationality, that might be a lot of pressure too, because you see all these different minority groups that get a tremendous amount of attention and get sympathy and sometimes get restitution. Wouldn't you want to participate in that too? Pride is a way in which people can identify as something that can be maybe not an L, maybe not a G, maybe not a B, definitely not a T, but the plus, so that they can engage in what it's like to be a part of the minority spectacle, and no one will question them. It's almost like an alter ego for some people. Now, these are my very anecdotal experiences, but I have seen straight white women outshine the gays at every pride event, pride parade. They're the ones that are the most naked. They're the ones that are the most colorfully dressed, the ones that are literally doing the most, the ones that are over the top. And I've always found that incredibly fascinating because they want to be able to relate to something that can absolve them from the responsibility of being white, heterosexual, and cisgender. It's a very fascinating kind of concept. So we'll put that on the back burner. There's some things I want to discuss with you all today. First and foremost, hustle culture is dead. If it isn't dead, we need to kill it. There was a period of time, for some of you, not for me, where booked and busy was the way. Oh, I've got so much going on. I got to do this, and I'm going here, and I got this going on. And being booked and busy was not always leisure time activities. You just had a lot of stuff to do. You had a lot of things on your plate. And it seemed to me, and again, this is my anecdotal experience, me looking at the world with my blinders on, it seems that some people gained a level of status from being booked and busy. I take offense when someone says, oh, Sherwin, you must be busy all the time. No, why would you say that? No, I'm not. I don't want to be. The intention of my life is to have the best currency that there is, and it's not necessarily money. Money helps, but money is not the best currency. Time is the best currency. So if someone is booked and busy, and they got their status from being booked and busy, like, oh, I've got all this stuff going on. On Monday, I'm doing this. Tuesday, I'm doing this. I never understood those people. They have to. I think some of it might be a defense mechanism because they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to be, just have nothing to do because they'll go crazy. I've never been one of those people. I strive to get the work done so I can do nothing for the rest of the day. I'm one of those. I don't always need to be on the go. That's why summer is a hard season for me. It really is. Today is going to be difficult for me. I'm done at noon today. I don't think I have any meetings or anything after the show. But again, I probably won't know until after the show. But it's going to be very nice today. I think it's going to be in the upper 70s. It's going to be 80 degrees. I got my T-shirt on, my short sleeve shirt, my nautical shirt on. I don't have anything to do. I'm not one of those people that has to go out and has to be out because it's 80 degrees. And I know that they say we have short summers, but we really didn't have much of a winter, quite honestly. I'm not one of those people that, it's summertime, I have to do all of this stuff. I got to go to the lake, and I got to go see who has a boat, and I got to go sit outside somewhere and have a beer, and I got to go take a damn hike through the parks because, it's 75, 80 degrees today. I don't want to do all that stuff, and I feel bad because when it's a really nice day, I don't want to force myself to have to do something. I prefer just to sometimes do nothing. But I see all these other people doing all this other stuff because I am not, nor have I really ever been, a booked and busy person to where that is my flex. You guys know what I'm talking about? Somebody that says, I'm busy all the time. I'm doing all this stuff. And we're supposed to think more highly of them because they have a lot of stuff going on. The most important currency that we have is time. I would rather have an abundance of time. I'm not lying to you. I'd rather have an abundance of time than an abundance of money. I really want both. I want more time than I know what to do with because then you have flexibility. Then you have leisure time. Then if you want to travel, you can. If you want to stay home, you can. You want to take a nap, you can because you have time. Time is incredibly flexible. And here's the people that I weep for, the people that don't have a lot of time, because that's the only thing that we wish for more of in the very end. If you lived a reasonably happy life, you don't want it to be over. You know who I learned this from? My dying grandmother. She died in 2012 in June, just before her 96th birthday. She was old. We loved her to death. She was the matriarch, the last of the matriarchs in my family. Now, my mother is the matriarch. My mother is a different kind of matriarch than Big Mama. Big Mamas were a cultural institution that were a kind of familial glue that doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't. The world has changed. Culture has changed. The internet, smartphones. Big mamas don't exist anymore. Big mamas now get BBLs and go to the club. They're not very big mama-esque. I remember the big mamas that, like, starting in their 50s, they just wore muumuus and house coats and always wore slippers no matter what. And they didn't really pick their feet up when they walked. They're wearing the slippers, the kind that you put your feet in. You know, those terry cloth slippers, big mama shoes, and their feet slide across the floor. You know what I'm talking about? That big mama walk, and you hear it in the distance. Uh-oh, big mama's coming. Those women don't exist anymore. We went to go see my grandmother in hospice. She was in Memphis in hospice. And all the family went to go see her. We knew she didn't have much time left. And she's sitting there in a wheelchair, just looking very sad. She's 95 years old, lived an incredible life. She saw and was able to vote for a black president. She was born in 1916. She'd be 109 years old if she was still alive. She was able to vote for Barack Obama twice. She saw 10 of her 11 grandchildren all get college degrees, including Northwestern and Harvard. An incredible life this woman lived. And she's 95 years old and she's sitting in the wheelchair and we're just sitting around, we're silent, there's not much to say. And I said, Big Mama, what do you want for your birthday? Because her birthday was coming up. She said, I want my health. That hit me like a ton of bricks. She knew she was dying. Because black people either don't live long at all or live really long. It's weird. So when it comes to African Americans, I talked about this probably a couple of months ago. If we make it to the age of 80 as African Americans, we actually outlive white people. Ain't that crazy? So if you're black and you make it to 80, statistically, you will live longer than the average white person. But we just got to make it to 80. Some of us don't even make it to 18. When she said at the age of 95 that she wanted her health, that means that she wanted more time. So from that moment forward, I prioritize time. I don't want to do things that I don't have to do. And those of you that know me, that is one thing that you know about me. If I don't want to do it, I physically can't. I'm just not able to do it. It won't get done. It will not happen. I used to make up excuses. Now I just tell people, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Hey, Sherwin, are you coming to the thing? We're going to have a thing, and then we're going to have another thing. No, I can't. But why? No, why? I just can't. Because I prioritize my time. Going to talk about hustle culture being over. Stop doing all this stuff that you don't want to do. And some of that may include stop doing all this stuff for other people when you know they don't appreciate it, because you are wasting your time, but probably giving them more time. I need you to think about that. Time is the only thing you do not get back. Prioritize it. You can get your money back. Sometimes it's guaranteed, ain't it? A money back guarantee. You'll get your money back. Time you never get back. We seem to think that we can revert back to a different period of time. When we talk about the youth, like, oh, Sherwin, back in my day, we had this and that and the YMCA and the this and the Urban League Youth Council and all the things for the kids. We need to get back to that. We never will. We never will. We'll never be able to go backwards because we don't ever get that era back, nor will we ever get our time back. We're going to talk about the death of hustle culture and how you need to preserve your time and be more judicious with it than with your money. We're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on, I guess, the second day of Pride Month, where mostly heterosexual, cisgender white women go absolutely crazy. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, please join us for the 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee on Thursday, June 19th. The Truth will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so don't miss out on your chance to celebrate with us with our live Juneteenth broadcast presented by Open Sky and Carroll University. 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, Associated Bank, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, and Educators Credit Union.
I've got to share that I am also a beneficiary of the Old National Bank Empowerment Loan Program. So, Tracy, with that being said, what is the Empowerment Loan Program?
Great. Well, the Empowerment Loan Program is a special purpose loan program that we launched 2 years ago. It has been a success. It was something, again, near and dear to the heart of not only our chairman and CEO, but just our organization as a whole. We work with contractors, consulting firms, retail food operations, daycares. In fact, so far, we've approved $50 million of loans to minority and women-owned businesses within a 2-year period.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Probably my favorite genre of music. I'm getting sick of hip hop. Hip hop is starting to get stupid. I don't like it. And maybe because I'm getting old. Now I think I understand when my parents used to say, turn that mess down. Now I'm the one saying, turn that mess down. But I could listen to Chicago, deep house music forever. And yes, this was generated by AI. Sorry, haters. Sorry. In fact, the only good thing that has come out of Chicago has been house music. Their pizza is dumb. It's too thick. I like thin pizza. Chicago deep dish pizza is stupid. They make a decent hot dog. The Chicago style hot dog, that's good too. But other than that, really nothing good comes out of Chicago other than music and a hot dog. We need to kill hustle culture. Who wants to work hard? I can see if... No, because that's not working hard. If you really love what you do, here's what I want for everybody. Find what you are passionate about and do it. Do it till the cows come home. Do it in the morning, the evening, the afternoon. Because when you do what you love, you are surrounded by a kind of wellness that is unmatched, right? Compare that, doing what you love. Do it for a living. Do it for fun. Do it for a hobby. Do what you love. Find this thing that you love. What drives you? What is your passion? What is your guiding light? That is what you are supposed to be doing. That is your calling. That is what we call your vocation. And when you find it and when you do it, there is a reassuring calm that falls over you to where your life actually gets better and the loose pieces of your life begin to tighten and things begin to go according to plan. But you got to find what you love. Compare that for those of you that did find your vocation, you did find your calling, like your mothership, as Oprah called it. You got to follow your mothership. There's a theme, like a soundtrack to each one of our lives. Follow it. Now, you may lose people along the way, but that's not a you problem. That's a them problem. You find and follow your calling. Do what you love and do it to death because you're going to do it better than anybody else because it is your passion. Then you compare that, this feeling of wholeness and wellness when you are doing what you love. And you're going to get paid for it because you're good at it, because you love it. Because for you, it's not even work. It is a joy. Whatever it is that you do that feeds you and puts food on the table and pays your bills, you have to love it. Otherwise, life is dreadful. Remember, we want to preserve our time. Don't waste time being unhappy. Don't waste time in a job that you hate. Ain't nothing worse than that. Doing a job that you hate, and it probably won't pay enough. So you hate the job, and it doesn't pay enough. You are slowly killing yourself. For me, and again, this is my anecdotal experience, doing a job that I hate is worse, more taxing on me than being in a bad or toxic relationship. A job that I hate. You hate what's involved. You hate the mission. You probably aren't too fond of your coworkers, but there's always a coworker or two that you're cool with, even at a job that you hate. But it feels like you're wasting your life away. Life is way too short to be unhappy. And I know a lot of this is easier said than done, but some people in our community need a new focus. Focus on this thing that you think is unobtainable. The thing that you love. The thing that people who are jealous tell you not to do. You know what it is that you want to do. You know what your dream is. And sometimes we get very excited, don't we, when we find out what our passion is. And we want to share it with the world. Social media is good for that. And you're happy because you found the thing that you love. The thing to where your time now becomes a very valuable commodity. It's almost like you don't have enough time because you found this thing that you love. And I don't even know what it is. Hell, it could be anything. I don't care what it is. What it is not the point because it's your thing. And you're very happy about it. You're excited about it. You feel reinvigorated because you have found your calling. You feel at home. You feel at peace doing this thing, whatever this thing is, and you want to share it with the world. And you think that the world will share your joy. They will not. It is the people that have not found their calling. It is the people that are struggling. It is the people that have to stay booked and busy to deal with their anxiety that will hate you because you found your thing. You found your calling. And you want them to be happy for you, but a few people will be. And chances are, the people that are genuinely happy for you, when you tell the world that you found this thing and you're happy and you're content, you found your calling, and now your time is even more valuable because the more time you have, the more time you can dedicate to this thing. I mean the thing that you're obsessed over. You go to bed thinking about this thing. You wake up thinking about this thing. It may impact your style of dress. It may impact all what you eat, whatever this thing is that drives you, that motivates you. The people that will be the most happy for you, they'll welcome you to this new era of your life where you found this thing that you love, your passion, your vocation, and now that is your life. You are living in it. You are walking in it. People that have also found their passion are the ones that are going to congratulate you. The people that have not found their passion, that are miserable, are the ones that are going to hate. That is a them problem, and all you can do is hope, wish, pray, that they find the peace that you have found when you engage in your calling. And I want more of our people, black people, because there was a bunch of homicides this weekend. I don't want to talk about that. I'm starting to think there's nothing we can do about it. We can attempt, we can bring awareness, but I can't cover Black death anymore. I have a platform here where if I am wise in using this very coveted platform that I have, why wouldn't I speak Black life? I don't want to talk about Black death anymore. We're too familiar with it already. We are on intimate terms with it. I want to speak life. I want to end hustle culture. I want Black folks to finally take a sigh of relief and not have to be busy working all the time and doing all the stuff that you don't want to do and pleasing and appeasing other people. Screw them. It's okay to be selfish. I know that a lot of us were taught, no, you can't be selfish. But if you're not looking after you, nobody else is going to. Some people will pretend. But at the end of the day, even the people that we believe are looking after us are still going to be looking after themselves first. You are okay in putting yourself first. I know this is hard for a lot of women folk because y'all got to put everybody else in front of you, your kids. Screw them kids. And not literally, but you have to be happy and healthy. Otherwise, your kids are going to suffer too. Don't feel guilty. And plus, them kids will understand one day. There's only so much you can do for them anyway, you know? Your children are made up of 400 different genetic components, most of which completely unbeknownst and foreign to their own parents. So there's only so much you can do. All you can do is you steer them in the right direction. You give them a sense of morality and a sense of decency and a sense of right from wrong, and that, yes, they are supposed to be kind people and be generous when they have abundance. And then that's basically it. Once the training wheels come off, you'll know what kind of kids you got. Some children respond to that well. Some children don't. Some kids need a little bit more love, more attention, more affection. Okay, fair enough. But you got to set them on a path, because if all things work out the way they're supposed to, your children will live a life so different and so foreign to you. And chances are a big portion of their life they are going to live without you. So you have to prepare them for that. I'm going to take a break, come back. Got some details for you. Did you know that there's different kinds of internet? Did you know that? I went down a Benjamin-esque rabbit hole this weekend. There's like 5 different kinds of internet. I want to share those with you. Some are obvious, some are not. Some are sinister, some are nefarious, some are mythical. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to talk about this new era that I want us to live in. Ricky, that goes for you too. A soft life era. And I was talking to Carrie about this very briefly, and she said, well, I never heard of a man wanting to live a soft life. Well, I'm one of them. I don't want to live a hard life. For what? What glory is there in living a hard life? I don't want to work hard. You know what I want? Good sleep and peace of mind. That's what I want. That is what I'm striving for. I want to wake up with no cares, no fears, no worries. I don't want to think about, I got to go here, and then at 12:30, I got to be here, and then I got to go do this. Then I got to pick up a weekend shift, and then I got to go pick so-and-so up from the airport, and then I got a meeting at 3:30. I don't want that life. That is a nightmare for me. What are you getting out of that? Other than more gray hairs. Take a break, come back. Gentlemen, we're going to embrace the soft life. And women, they're going to have something to say about it. Women be damned. It's time for us fellas to have a soft life too. Blame us for every damn thing. Ain't going to blame us for nothing. We're going to live a soft life. Manicures, pedicures, naps, clean eating. That's going to be us, gentlemen. We need to live lives for ourselves as well. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Summer in Milwaukee is nonstop. Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season you already know. From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment. Music, flavor, culture, whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit. Make sure you experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals.
Get that jump start to a fulfilling career at Carroll University through majors such as video game design, music therapy, pre-law, and over 90 additional majors. Carroll University is Wisconsin's oldest university. Founded in 1846, Carroll offers students small class sizes, personalized attention, and a generous financial aid package while they receive a cutting-edge education. Learn more at carrollu.edu. That's carrollu.edu.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Ben Jammin with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be honest? Honest about what? Honest about me. Honest about following your dreams. Matthew 16, verse 26. What does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? I didn't know what I was getting into when my mother birthed me. I never imagined walking out of a job would lead me here. Back in 2017, I was working third shift at a grocery store, hating it. I knew I had to make a change. One day I walked out. No plan, just a leap of faith. 2 months later, I got a job with V100, and it was on and popping. I met Wiz Khalifa, Jerry Springer, Ice Cube, and Charlamagne the God. But in 2020, everything changed. COVID hit, and I was furloughed. But it gave me clarity. Clarity on who I was, who my real fans were, and what I truly wanted. After 8 months, I got an opportunity with 1017 The Truth. I got the chance to speak on air, and things took off. I started as a producer, and now I'm the host of Jamming with Juice. I've spoken with the White House, NBA All-Stars, and even killed an unreleased track with one of your favorite rappers. Through it all, I remained vulnerable with you, Truth Nation, especially after losing my dad. But here's the truth. It's not just about following your dreams. It's about preparing for them. What you want to happen is going to happen. But if you're not ready for it, you have to watch it pass you by. As a great prophet once said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So if we're waiting for the divine timing of the George Floyd assassination, the time that I took for myself to become greater, or the vision of the CEO of our company, 1017 The Truth, or myself wouldn't be here. So I call it divine timing. I can tell you to follow your dreams, but it's much better if you prepare for them.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
If you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to join our YouTube conversation. Sandra, Were you talking to me? I'm wondering in this comment you made. You said women are not as stupid as you make them seem. I think we need to have a conversation. I hope nothing that I said led anyone to believe that I think that women are stupid. No, I don't think that women are stupid. But if they are, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? So that's not... Is that rude to say that? I'm not saying that women are stupid at all. No, women are very smart. I know many smart women, so do you. Some of you are very smart women. Shout out to the smart women. But so let's say a woman isn't smart, okay? There's a woman somewhere in China or Norway or in Africa. She's not a smart woman. That's her problem, right? I would never say that or cast that kind of a blanket judgment over women, saying that women are not that smart. I think that people make the best out of their current situation. That's what I think. I also know that my life, I can't speak for your life. And some of you have great lives. Some of you live very charmed lives. I didn't really do a whole heck of a lot this weekend, and I loved it. I did what I call enjoying my mortgage. I just hung around the crib. I had company. Had a friend come over, chilled out for a little bit. Stepped out very briefly on Friday in between the raindrops because it rained a little bit Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Stepped out for a hot minute, see a couple of my friends on Friday, chilled on Saturday, had some company on Saturday. But then just mostly relaxed and chilled and enjoyed my mortgage over the weekend. And I looked around at my life and then also my house, what's in it. The things that I purchased, the way I have my rooms decorated, and there's a memory associated with everything because I've been in my house for 21 years. It was a very long time. I don't even think I want to buy another house. I used to think, like, oh, I'm going to get this house paid off or paid down. I'm going to go move somewhere. Nah, I'm not going anywhere. I got too many memories. Plus, I don't want to start over with a new mortgage. But my life and everything that is in it, whether I like this part or not, here's the truth. It is the sum of all the choices that I made. I could blame everybody. I could say, well, this person made me do this, but I won't. That's a cop-out. My life as it exists, your life may be different. Maybe you do want to blame other people for your life, but my life is the sum of my choices. I made the decision. And a lot of times I was at a fork in the road, and did I go the wrong way? Sometimes I did. Did I go the right way? Sometimes I most certainly did. Our lives are the sum of our very own choices. If that is indeed the case, then live your life on your terms, because at the end of the day, it is your life. These are your decisions that you are making. You cannot blame somebody else. So if you are with somebody else or surrounded by somebody else that makes you unhappy, that is your choice. And I know I never said it was easy to leave. It's not easy to leave. But the things that are the most difficult sometimes provide the most insight and the most delicious reward. I think we want things to come easy, and eventually they will when you're walking in your purpose. I'm feeling real philosophical today. Is it because it's Pride Month, maybe? I don't know what it is. But I just had like this major revelation that there are parts of this city that I don't want to have anything to do with because I can't fix them, and I'm not going to die trying. I only have a certain amount of time left, and I'm going to live my life, and I want you to live your life on your terms, doing what you love to do. I'm very fortunate. I get to do what I love to do. A part of that is here right now with you all, but another part of that is when I leave here and I do Sherwin stuff. I do the things and engage in the things that I love that keep me happy and keep me fulfilled and keep my cup runneth over. Now, I could say, oh, well, there's a whole bunch of issues and problems going on, and this needs help and this needs fixing, and I can wear myself out trying to fix those things or put my time, effort, and attention to 75 different things and not make a bit of difference. The only person that will suffer is me. And maybe that's a selfish thing. But what I don't want when it's all over, and if I'm lucky enough to prepare for my demise, because I want to see it coming, you know what I mean? So I can get my affairs in order. I don't want my last thoughts to be, damn it, I should have did more of the things that I wanted to do. I should have spent more time doing this. I should have been working less. I should have been with my friends more. I should have been with my family. I don't want those kinds of regrets. So to prevent those regrets, because when time is up, it's up. I'm doing what I love right now. All right. I want us to enjoy our lives, get the most out of our lives, but also have a more specific focus. So there's the stuff I've been reading, and maybe that's my problem. I'm literate. I read too many things. There's this thing called the psychology of arrival, and I'm speaking to African Americans in particular. If we have achieved a level of success, and when I say a level of success, and success is subjective. Success for me is I get to choose everything I do all of the time. Nobody chooses it for me, and there's nothing that I quote unquote have to do. That is success. I get to make the ultimate choice, the final decision in everything that I do, every place that I go, everything. I got full control over that. To me, that's success. For some of you, it's material things. And I'm not begrudging any of you for calling your success material things. I'm just doing a comparison and a contrast. But far too many of us, as African American Black people, when we achieve a level of success, especially a level of success that A, we never thought we would achieve personally, or B, our friends, our family, and our community never thought that we would achieve. That makes it even sweeter because you just bested everybody's expectation. We do this stuff called arrival. We have to let it be known that we are successful. The expensive designer clothes and the cars and the expensive and extravagant vacations. I'm thoroughly convinced that some people go on vacation just to take pictures and post them on Instagram, barely even enjoying the vacation. Because if you're taking that many photos, I got to remind myself to take pictures. If I'm in the moment and I'm having a good time, my phone is an afterthought. I think that there's a generation that exists right now. Your phone must be present while you're having a good time. To me, the two are not mutually inclusive. If I'm having a good time, the damn phone is away. It's in my pocket somewhere with a dead battery because I want to be and live in the moment. A lot of times I want to take pictures of my food. You ever do this? Like you go to a restaurant? Because I like recommending restaurants around the city because Milwaukee's got a dope food scene. And I'll go to this restaurant or I'll finally get a reservation at a real nice restaurant that I've been wanting to go to for a while. And the first thing I want to do is I want to take a picture of the food so that people can see what the food looks like. My stupid ass, I eat the food. I took 10 bites and then I try and reassemble the food to try and get a photograph of it. You ever do that? You mean to take a picture of your food, but the food comes and you just start eating the food? So I am not as connected to my phone. Even when I want to be, I'm not, because if I'm living in the moment, I'm enjoying the atmosphere and the presence of being in the company of someone, hopefully, that I like, and being at this great restaurant. My phone is an afterthought. But we always have to showcase what we have, and I want us to stop doing that because at the end of the day, we are wasting money. I did the thing. I had the fancy cars. I had all sorts of cars. I had a 2-seat Roadster sports car, had an Audi, had a Mercedes, not all at the same time. I leased a Land Rover because I wanted people to know that I arrived. And here's what I'll come to find out after how many tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars later, and lease payments later, and oil changes later, and $900 brake jobs later. These cars, you can only enjoy a car so much. It's not like I take road trips. For the last all of my career, I've never commuted more than 5 miles. Barely even need a car. That's why I wish we had rail. I don't even need no damn car. Wasted all this money. And for the people that I thought I was trying to impress, because I needed them to see Sherwin pulling up in something foreign. You know what? Screw every one of those people. Screw you. I drive a Chevy Volt. It's a plug-in hybrid. Some people say that I don't even look right getting out of that car. Don't care. Love my little car. It's like driving a little smartphone. It's got computer stuff in it, and I get home and I plug it into the outlet in my garage. Not even a special outlet, just a regular outlet. I've actually been in a garage before and had my vehicle charging from one outlet and my cell phone charging from the other. Imagine that. We don't need to showcase our arrival, ladies and gentlemen. I want our success to be internal, an internal peace of mind. You know what our success is? Getting good rest and having blood pressure that is lower than 120/80. That, for us, is success. You don't have to worry about anything. You're not forced to do stuff. You're not forced to pick up the extra shift. You're not forced to work on weekends and holidays and have to spend time away from your family. Let's reprioritize that. Social media pressure and the desire to look rich versus being actually rich. Quote, the soft life culture and its economic implications. The soft life is ease over hustle. I'm going to pause there, take a break, come back. I want us to live the soft life, but you got to get to it. You got to arrive at the soft life. I don't want y'all to have to be booked and busy all the time, because what fun is that? Unless you're dealing with anxiety and you have to do stuff. I'm just very fortunate that I'm not one of those people where I always have to be busy. I always want to be not busy so that when that phone does ring and that opportunity does arise, you know, the one that you never thought was coming, you know, that phone call that you never thought you were going to get. Well, guess what? That phone call comes. And sometimes it comes when you least expect it. The ultimate opportunity, the ultimate prize, the phone call you never thought you would ever get. I want to be available for it. I don't want to miss that phone call because I'm booked and busy. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing Coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing Coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe Coaches are here to help.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Soft life is a lifestyle trend and a cultural movement, especially among black millennials and Gen Z. Why should the millennials and the Gen Z have coined the phrase soft life? I want a soft life. I don't want soft life to be confused with soft person or a soft man. In hour two, I actually want to clear up, like, what is a strong woman? Because I think my definition of it may vary from yours. And I hear women say that. It's a point of pride for them. I'm a strong woman. What I have seen when it comes to strong women and how they, the women that I know, the women that I'm familiar with, the women that I've grown up with, the women that raised me, their idea of strong involves way too much struggle. Struggle can make you weak. What's the saying? Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Lies. Whatever doesn't kill you, if you went through something that almost killed you, you're traumatized. You ain't stronger. We have that whole thing backwards. I mean, you can become more resilient, but you also might suffer from anxiety and depression, though, too. Whatever doesn't kill you, make you stronger. So does that mean that we should strive to do a whole bunch of stuff that almost kills us so that we get stronger? No. I think that you are strong and your strength comes from, well, yes, your resilience, but having firm boundaries and being immobile and staying focused on your task, setting goals and accomplishing them. That is strong. Don't let somebody distract you from your goals. That takes strength. You got a plan. Your day is already mapped out. If a person can call you and disrupt your plan, that's not strength, that's weak. So we want to define what strength is. Or I have seen far too often, strength is the ability to tolerate abuse. Some women may define a man by his ability to tolerate her neglect, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, disrespect, and her uncooperative nature. And if he says, you know what, I don't want to deal with that, you're just a weak man. Oh, that is the worst. Because he has a boundary for himself and he doesn't want to tolerate that. To me, that is a very strong man, because most men think that they have to bear the brunt, that they have to get beat up on and talked to any old kind of way. Some women hit their husbands, but they don't say nothing about it because as a man, well, he just has to take it. And well, he's bigger and he's stronger. Y'all know that happens, right? There are some women that know that he, no matter what, cannot physically touch her. So she physically touches him. Stop acting like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You do. We just don't talk about it because it's a horrendous double standard. But he's a strong man. He can take it. I've seen one of my friends that I grew up with get verbally assaulted by his wife in front of all of us. And that was probably 20 years ago, and I haven't gotten over it. And he just kind of shrugged his shoulders. I'm like thinking to myself, now clearly it's none of my business, but she had to make it be known that she wanted to embarrass him and belittle him in front of his friends, which is, that's divorce grounds if you ask me. But I'm thinking to myself, what does she say when we ain't here? We're watching a football game, watching the Packers. If she gonna talk to dude like this when he's got his boys over and we hanging out in the basement in the man cave, and she gonna come downstairs and raise hell unnecessarily where she could have waited till we left, like, you know, most married couples do. You fight when everybody goes home, or you fight in the car driving home. That's when you do your best fighting. I'm thinking to myself, what does dude tolerate when we're not here? Because I figured that having all of his friends over would protect him from some of that verbal abuse. So we're going to talk about that too. We're also going to talk about the details of living a soft life. I want you all to live a soft life. Why do you want to live a hard life? It makes your face wrinkled. And I got good skin to be 50, Rick. Look at I ain't got no wrinkles, Rick. Look at my skin. Look, I put rose waters on my skin.
Got gray hairs though.
Yeah, I got gray. But that's genetic. I like my gray hairs. I'm going to take a break, come back, talk about the soft life, and hustle culture is dead. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
Carrie, where's Tori Lowe and Dr. Ken at? I'm trying to knock these commercials out.
How am I supposed to know, Sherwin?
Well, I'm about to do their parts because my impressions are on point anyway. This is Dr. Ken Harris from Truth in the Afternoon, and I want you to download the Truth app in the Google Play Store and Apple Store so you can never miss my show or any of the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Really, Kyle?
Sherwin, you are crazy.
Sherwin, your impression of me is horrible. Move. Give me my mic. I guess I'll just repeat what Sherwin said. Go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store to download the 1017 The Truth app today so you can take the home of Milwaukee Black Talk with you wherever you are.
Can't listen live? Download the new 1017 The Truth app on your smartphone today to catch up on all your favorite shows. Search 1017 The Truth on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store so you don't miss out on any of the action.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, talking about living an easier life. Hustle culture is dead. But don't we always strive to make lives easier? If you look at the invention of just like appliances and modern conveniences, I remember a time where the world was much more analog than it is right now. We got a microwave when I was probably first or second grade. And I am old enough to remember when if you wanted a snack or you needed to heat some food up, you had to turn on the whole oven, and the oven had to get warm. You had to preheat the oven, and it would still take 15, 20, 25 minutes to heat something up. It would take so damn long. By the time the food got heated up, you weren't even hungry anymore. Now, microwave, 2 minutes. Just basic stuff. The invention of TV dinners, right? Families were on the go and they were becoming more busy, and moms were working now. She wasn't always at home to cook the meal. You get a TV dinner. I remember putting TV dinners in the oven. Remember TV dinners that had the aluminum foil trays a long time ago? We want more convenience. That's the whole point of the internet. You used to have to go to a physical location where there are books. And once the book is written, it's not updated until someone writes another book, and it might be years in between. You go to an actual library, have to use the Dewey Decimal System and the card catalog. You'd have to have certain numbers memorized to know where in this gigantic building to find the book you're looking for, and there's a 74% chance the book isn't even there anyway. But that's what we had to do to get information and to do research. I remember having to put money in a Xerox machine to photocopy pages of a book so I could take them home and read them and write my reports. It was something else. Now, the internet is in our pocket. Don't even get me started on artificial intelligence. I just found out yesterday that the song BBL Drizzy is an artificial intelligence song. I had no idea, no clue. Meaning there's probably a whole bunch more music that we listen to from artists that we know that are using artificial intelligence in their music, and we'd have literally no idea. So I said a couple of weeks ago that by the end of this year, the end of calendar year 2025, I wanted all of the music that I played on this show to be generated by AI. I gave myself to the end of the year before I could make that happen. It took 2 weeks. But don't we want more convenience? We have self-driving cars. Now, they didn't really take off like we thought that they would. We don't even want to be inconvenienced to drive our own vehicles that we purchase so that we can drive them. So if we have all of these conveniences, why do people want to be booked and busy? Isn't the whole point of life? And I don't want to bring up the slave trade because that's an awful epoch. There's the human element of it, but then there's like the business side. The whole point of life back then was to live a life of leisure to where you didn't have to work. Now, we violated people's human rights and we raped them and we killed them and we stripped them of their language and their culture and a whole bunch of other things. But the whole point was to live this life where you could just have leisure time all the time. So why have we started to prioritize being booked and busy? Soft life is a lifestyle trend and a cultural movement, especially among Black millennials and Gen Z, that emphasize ease over hustle, luxury over labor, and peace over pressure. Core ideas choosing joy, rest, and self-care over grind culture or constant struggle, avoiding unnecessary emotional labor, toxic relationships, or workplace stress. Oh, that's a big one. For a lot of people, workplace stress, that's a big one. Depending upon your job, depending upon the functions and the duties of your job, you may take some workplace stress home with you, and that is where it really becomes a problem, because not only is it an issue for you while you are working and earning your living, it may impact your home life and your family life. Now, the inverse is also true, and I've been saying this to people that I work with for many, many years, because here's the thing. Everybody got some mess going on. Everybody got issues. Everybody got problems. We all do. If we all brought our issues and our problems to work, nothing would ever get done. So you have to do yourself the favor, but also it's also being a courteous coworker, colleague, and teammate to your fellow employees, because everybody could be bringing their nonsense from at home to work. And here's the thing. If you got so much stuff going on at home to where you can't work, then just don't go to work. You can't work that day. If you're not going to be able to function because of the stuff you have going on at home, hopefully you have some time off, a little paid time off, or maybe take you a little sick day. You know, you got to do those things. Because if you can't work, you can't. Can't bring that stuff to work. Just like we don't want people to bring workplace stress home to them, because your family, they didn't deserve to be treated poorly because you had a bad day at work. But also, you have to find a rhythm. Depends on what you do. Some jobs are very different than others. There's always the ability to walk away from interpersonal things that go on at a workplace. Now, here's the trap, though. There's some people, like, their friends, like, the only friends that they have are their coworkers. That's got to suck. I mean, maybe not for them. Maybe they enjoy having their coworkers be friends. But what I have found is that you can have that kind of an atmosphere at a job. Oh, and you love the job is great. And your friends, like, you hang out with your coworkers socially, and you hang out with them, and you talk to them on the phone, and you text them, and you call them and get recipe ideas from your coworkers. When your ass gets fired from that job, those friends sometimes disappear. And that's what I want people to be mindful of, because they will be under the impression that, oh, these are my friends at work. Until you get written up and fired, then all of a sudden ain't nobody calling and checking on you. Ain't nobody sending you no Christmas cards no more, and you ain't getting invited to no holiday parties and birthday parties anymore. Just be mindful of that stuff. All right. The soft life is the new self-preservation, and it's also about healing from trauma. All right. The psychology of arrival refers to what happens mentally and emotionally after reaching a level of success or wealth, especially when you did not grow up with it. This is the other thing that I wanted to get to. Sometimes I'm not going to limit this to a race. I just know I see it more in African Americans. We got to flex. We have to show it off. We got to get the clothes and the cars and the jewelry. And ladies, sometimes you get fancy things too, and very expensive purses. Do you know that there are some purses that cost $15,000? I can't believe that. It's a bag. What's the name of it? What's the name? It's in a lot of rap songs. Some women demand, Ricky, what's the name of the expensive purses? They're really expensive, like $15,000, $20,000. I think it starts with a B. Not Balenciaga.
Birkin?
Birkin! Somebody help me out, please, because I really don't understand this, and I try to have a deep level of understanding of things. Why would you want a purse that costs as much as a late model Honda Civic? For what? Is it better than all the purses? Is it the only purse you're ever going to have? What does it come with? Does it come with your hopes and your dreams inside? If it breaks, do they fix it for free? If you buy a Birkin bag and you need a drain unclogged at your house, do the Birkin people also give you a home warranty? Help me understand that. And I get it. If you're stupid celebrity, Nepo baby rich, you grew up with money and you have no concept of reality, and a $15,000 purse to them is like a $100 purse to somebody else. But if you want to show to the world that you have arrived, why would you do that? And in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, are you still going to love the purse as much? I can't understand that. Men, I'm sure we do it too. We do it with jewelry. You know who Steve the Stoner is? He's a Milwaukee fella. He makes music. Some of it is good. Some of it is not. I was watching a couple of his videos because he was on with Ben and Carrie last week. And he had posted something on social media where he's in a bit of legal trouble. and he is looking for some help. He's soliciting help from the community to help him with his legal bills. I never really got into his style of music and performing. Like, he'll go to public places and bring like a little speaker and a microphone and just start rapping. I know he did it at Elsa's one night. I think he came here more than a couple times to the 3rd Street Market Hall, and people are just hanging out and they're dining, whatever. He'll just start rapping with a real loud speaker and a microphone. Like, that's just not my thing. I mean, great for the people that enjoy it. He does like these impromptu concerts. So I'm watching some of his content on Instagram because I heard him call into Ben and Carrie's show, essentially saying he's got some legal bills and he needs help with a lawyer. He's got these videos where he's holding tens of thousands of dollars in cash. And then he has another video because he has the dance, the upstairs, downstairs, the uptown, downtown dance. Some of you are very familiar with it. Some of you know how to do it. He's got a dance. And I'm watching another one of his Instagram videos because I'm trying to understand someone that I perceived as reasonably successful making music in Milwaukee and opening up for other big name acts and maybe going on tour. I'm sure he goes on tour. How he could be in such financial dire straits. So I'm watching another video, and he gave away cash to a person that can do his dance the best. And it was like a little cute little like 7 or 8 year old girl that was doing his dance, the uptown, downtown, which I don't think it's appropriate for a 7 or an 8 year old to be doing that dance because it starts with you smoking a joint and then putting it out. I really don't like that dance for young black children, but whatever. But he's got all of these videos and all these Instagram posts and all these reels where he's holding tens of thousands of dollars in cash, and he's talking about having dope and selling dope, and he'll sell you dope. He's got a white girl and then selling all of the dope, but then we'll go on my colleague's radio show and ask for money. Sometimes when you have arrival syndrome and you want to make it look like you have it, you better really have it. Because I'm also reading some of the comments. I read a comment or two on the post where he's asking for money. He's asking for the community to help him. And they are just dragging him through the mud. Like, dude, you should have put some of that money away. Why are you flexing? Why do you have all the jewelry? And then have the audacity to ask members of your community who are legitimately struggling, ask them to help pay your legal bills. Like, that just blows my mind. The thing about having money and money being an end in itself rather than a means to an end, if you are fronting and trying to manufacture status and it's not real, and then you lose that money, no one is going to help you. You are always better off staying humble. And I learned that lesson myself the hard way. Let's talk to Millicent. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I am doing well. We're going to have a beautiful day today. You know what I wanted people to understand was that Birkin bag was worth a whole lot more money when Princess Diana was carrying it. Now that routine rappers and they women are carrying it, the value has decreased a lot. Birkin used to make bags just for like the queens, but now they just sell them to anybody. And that decreased their value.
All right, I'm looking them up right now. A basic Birkin in Togo leather, like the Birkin 25, starts around $10,000 at Hermes boutiques, but can easily exceed $25,000 in the secondary market. And I'm looking at the Pearce, Millicent. It's not even big. So it's just for status?
And now... Yes, it's just for status because Princess Diana, if you go back into the Birkins, like Queen Elizabeth, Princess Diana, that's who they were making purses for. So they were elegant, bags you would only see at state dinners. But now you see them and they even make knockoffs of them. So they're not, you might have a real one, a $25,000 one, and then Quita walk into the store and she got a $12 one that looks just like yours.
Yeah, I'd get it. I get somebody a knockoff. Because sometimes, like, women are saying, I need a man to buy me a Birkin. You ain't a real man, so you can buy me a Birkin. I'll get you a Birkin, all right. I'll get you a twerking.
Look, Sherwin, I've been watching those videos too with the ladies and what they demanding. They want men to step in and help take care of the other kids and can't bring their kid no food unless you're going to feed all the other kids. That is the demise of the black community. We keep trying to blame it on the black man and him not being there, but it's really because the black woman has stepped down off of that totem pole and done what she was supposed to do.
All right.
Black mamas could raise black men, but they can't when they're just raising their own man.
Fair enough. That's a good point.
Okay.
Thank you for your call.
Bye-bye.
Okay, then.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Those aren't real, are they? Those videos that I see where I see a lot of them. So there was a guy who took a woman out for her birthday. A whole bunch, it was 18 of them total. So it was the birthday girl, her boyfriend, and then 16 of her friends at like Papa Dough or something. And then he was expected to pay for all of her friends. I didn't think that that was real. Another situation is a woman who has children goes out with a guy, and then that guy, and we don't know what date this is. It could be the first date. That man, if you're a real man, you have to buy her children food as well. Now, I have been asked to pay for a babysitter. That, I don't know. I feel some kind of way about that. I think I did it. I'm sure I did. But it also is another reason why it's a drag dating a single mother with young kids, because that's an extra cost. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of extra cost. Here's the thing. She didn't tell me to the last minute. Oh, Sherwin, I need $50. I'm like, I didn't even pick you up here. What you need $50 for? I got to pay my babysitter. That's not fair. That ain't fair. All right, let me just share this with you here. I'm blown away at this. The most expensive Birkin bag ever sold. A Himalaya Birkin with 30 diamonds sold for $450,000. If I saw somebody walking around with a $450,000 purse, I mean, what do you keep in it? Diamonds and gold bars? Basic Birkin 25 in Togo leather around $12,700 at Hermes. So if I meet a woman or if I see a woman that has a Birkin bag, I don't want to date her. She's too expensive. You can't just take her to Applebee's. You can't just take her to Sizzler. You can't just take her to go get a fillet of fish. She's got a Birkin bag. Everything.
Sizzler still exists?
I wish it did. They had a salad bar. Sizzler is gone. You know who else is gone? Ruby Tuesdays. Y'all remember Ruby Tuesday? They had a good salad bar. You got to take them to all these fancy places. They don't want to go to the Olive Garden because, the tour of Italy, that's not fancy enough for them. First of all, the tour of Italy is lasagna.
I like Olive Garden.
Fettuccine Alfredo. And chicken Parmesan. And then you get unlimited salad and breadsticks. Oh, Sherwin, you can't take me to the Olive Garden. Yes, the hell I can.
Ain't nothing wrong with the olive.
You're right, it is not. The problem is they close all the Milwaukee Olive Gardens because we don't know how to act. The last one they had was over like 85th and Brown Deer. It used to be an old Fuddruckers. Y'all remember Fuddruckers when you go make the hamburgers? They closed the Fuddruckers. You want to go to Fuddruckers, you got to go to Brookfield because we don't know how to act. Always closing our stuff. All right, I got to take a break. Ladies, I'm going to check the chat while I'm on commercial break. Can you explain to me what is the purpose of having a purse that costs $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? Like what does that mean? Like, what does that do for you? Who are you showing off for? Is this you showing your arrival that you're successful by buying a purse? And a purse can get stolen. Somebody can steal it from you. That's too much money. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, please join us for the 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee on Thursday, June 19th. The Truth will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so don't miss out on your chance to celebrate with us with our live Juneteenth broadcast presented by Open Sky and Carroll University. 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, Associated Bank, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, and Educators Credit Union.
Why did Old National Bank decide to create this program?
You know, it was something that was near and dear to the heart of our chairman and CEO, Jim Bryant. Jim wanted us to do more in the African-American communities, more with minority-owned businesses. So he approached Roland Shelton, who was my boss in Evansville, Indiana, and said, Roland, we need to do more. We need to create a program that's going to allow individuals, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to access capital a lot better than traditionally we've been doing. And so we created the Empowerment Loan Program 2 years ago.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at omegasecurityguard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So it's involved in the psychology of arrival. You want people to know that you've arrived, so you buy something that is incredibly expensive. What about putting that money into a mutual fund or any one of the ETFs in the YMAX family where you get paid a dividend? Why not do that? The thing with that is that's quiet. That's quiet success. Nobody sees what's in your brokerage account. Nobody sees what's in your bank account. Nobody sees your distributions of your dividends directly deposited into your bank. Instead, you get the purse. And so you buy the purse, and it's, let's say you get a reasonable Birkin. I'm just using this as an excuse, or as an example, rather. It also is an excuse. So you buy it, and then what about when you're done with it? What if you need a real expensive car repair? Do you sell the Birkin bag, and do they resell very well? I'm just trying to figure out, because I don't know if there's anything comparable. Men's accessories, we don't really have as many accessories, even though there are men that, what are them things called? They're not purses. I think they're purses, but they
Man purses.
I don't think you call them that though, Ricky. They strap them around their chests.
What, a satchel or something?
Is that? I don't know what it. I don't do it.
I'll look it up.
Everything I need, I just have the triad of power. The triad of power is my wallet, my keys and my cell phone. In fact, that's how you know I'm spending the night, because my wallet, my keys, and my cell phone go on a nightstand. Fellas, you can do a couple of changes of clothes, wallet, keys, nightstand. You can be out of town for a good couple of days. That's really all you need. Men's accessories aren't. I mean, I guess we wear hats, I suppose, but I don't think that there's anything. So you have a name for you know what I'm talking about? Like these crossbody pouches that they wear.
So the correct term, according to Google, is called a man's purse, a man bag, or a merce.
Yeah, I don't. That's just not for me. You don't have one, do you, Ricky?
Absolutely not.
I think that's younger guys. And no shade to the guys that wear them, but what do you put in it? Like, what do you need? What extra stuff are you carrying that can't fit in your wallet or your pockets? Or is it a fashion thing? Because I've seen them made by Gucci or Louis Vuitton. They wear them across their bodies. They strap them. Steve Stoner had one on. In one of his videos, he's wearing a merce.
Also, it could be called a satchel or a pouch.
All right, then. Whatever. Maybe that's where they keep their guns or the drugs or the bullets. I don't know.
I'm assuming drugs and other essential things.
All right. Essential things. Your drugs are essential. All right. Well, more power to them. I'm sure somebody's probably having a fit that I'm bringing that up. I just am a little bit more old-fashioned, and I don't... Well, I mean, I got my ears pierced. But I got my ears pierced in the 90s, back when it was cool. I still wear an earring in my left ear. I wear a stud or a diamond sometimes. But that's about as far as I go. As far as feminizing myself, I won't wear a purse. You know what I mean? Because that's just not for me. The psychology of arrival refers to what happens mentally and emotionally after reaching a level of success or wealth, especially when you didn't grow up with it. Imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't belong in wealthy spaces. Black people, once you've made it, you belong in all those wealthy spaces with all the rich people. JD, I got to ask you, are you still listening? Is JD still around? I haven't checked the chat. JD, how did you get in the Bucks locker room? JD, how do you do all the things that you do? I'm not trying to be in your business, but you live one of those charmed lives. JD, you, sir, have arrived. You have made it. I'm scared to look at his Instagram story sometimes because dude might be on the top floor of the Empire State Building. The next day he's in Paris hanging out at the Eiffel Tower, hanging out in the Bucks locker room. I've never been to the Bucks locker room. I've been near it. I've seen them come out of it. I've never been to it. JD says you don't take anyone to Applebee's unless you hate them. That's not true. Every excursion to a restaurant, JD, does not have to be a fancy affair. Sometimes, okay, here's an example. You're out running errands. Maybe you got to get some last minute Christmas presents because it's Christmas time and you and your girlfriend, you're out running around getting the last minute Christmas presents for people, and you realize you hadn't eaten yet. Like, oh, hey, there's an Applebee's right down the street. You want to go grab something at Applebee's right quick? Applebee's serves a purpose. I think the quick service restaurants will always fill a need because every restaurant don't need to be extravagant and expensive. Like, there's a time and a place for that. I prefer Chili's. If I'm going to do quick service restaurants, Chili's is underrated. Y'all stop sleeping on Chili's. Chili's has a nice burger. And they used to do an unlimited fry basket, so can't ever go wrong with that. Let's see what else we got. Curly Q, thank you. Curly Q says there are still Sizzlers. Are they around here? Do we still have? Now I got to find out. Sizzler, Milwaukee. Oh, don't you tell me there's still Sizzler. No. Find a Sizzler family steakhouse near you. I don't think there's any left in Milwaukee, guys. Mission Viejo, California. No, I'm not going that far. Uh-oh. Sizzler E. coli outbreak. Never mind. Never mind about Sizzler. Sorry I brought that up. Not really. A city girl says Ruby Tuesday's salad bar was a hit. It sure was. They had a Ruby Tuesday's. The one I was most familiar with was on 107th and the Good Hope. Nothing can stay open over there on the 107th and the Good Hope. It was tumbleweeds. You guys you remember tumbleweed? They had a tumbleweed at Bayshore, and they had a tumbleweed at 107th and Good Hope. For some reason, nothing can stay open. That whole northwest side of the city, it's so sad.
I forgot about tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed was the bomb. They had real good salsas. I like Tex-Mex or Mex-Tex or whatever you call it. Tumbleweed was great, but they packed up and left too. So in that little area over there, you had a tumbleweed. You had a Ruby Tuesday. Salad bar was on 10. You had a Point Burger Bar. It's something else now. I think it was something after the Point Burger Bar. That closed, and now it's, can somebody tell me what is in that place on 100? It's a curse. If you have an establishment there, and I'm sorry if you are listening and your establishment is there, because you would think that it would be successful because it's right there by the big office park buildings, so those people could be your customers. It's right off the freeway. It's right where essentially Milwaukee meets Menominee Falls. If you keep going down Good Hope, you're in the falls, so people from Menominee Falls can go there. People getting off the highway can get there. If you're taking Fond du Lac from downtown maybe to the northwest side, Fond du Lac is right there too. How does that location not keep a Ruby Tuesdays? I know a lot of stuff changed in the restaurant industry post-pandemic. Buffets are essentially a thing of the past. Not a good Chinese buffet, though. They still have Chinese buffets.
I'm glad buffets are a thing of the past.
You can potentially get your money's worth. So we had an Old Country buffet in Brown Deer. I never liked the food there. Nothing was good at Old Country buffet. And whatever heat y'all want to give me, I'll take it. Nothing was good. Everything had the same kind of a bland, stupid flavor. It was all stupid. I never liked Old Country Buffet. People used to get excited about going. We call it OCBs. Oh, we're going to OCBs. Ugh. I didn't like it.
The only reason I say I'm glad buffets are the thing of the past is because there's too much unsanitary things that goes on in the buffets. People don't wash their hands. There's no hand sanitizer by the utensils. You got about 10 people back to back touching the same utensils trying to grab food. You got kids running around that don't wash their hands. It's just nasty.
I guess what I don't like is, so every time you go up to the buffet to get another helping, you got to get a new plate. Some people don't get a new plate. But also, you can watch for unsanitary people, and usually buffets have so many options that if somebody looks gross over by the macaroni and cheese, I just won't get any macaroni and cheese. But if somebody is using, yeah, I guess so. Because if you're using the tong or the ladle to scoop or grab your food, and then then don't eat with your hands, I guess. I don't know. I know restaurants, a lot of them do real questionable stuff. At least with the buffet, you can see people's handling of the food. But if you go to a restaurant, you got to trust what they're doing in the kitchen is all above board. At least at a buffet, they bring the food out and then you can witness people touching it, taking it, and grabbing it. Where any other restaurant you go to, you just got to hope that everything is above board back in the kitchen. And a lot of times it's not. I sure wish I could tell you these stories, but I'm not sure what the statute of limitations is. There was a period of time that if you went to a particular McDonald's, which I'm not even going to tell you where it is, and maybe this McDonald's doesn't exist, and maybe the story I'm saying right now is totally fake. If a cop came through the drive-thru, dear police officers, don't go to the drive-thru at McDonald's, because don't do it. I just wouldn't recommend it. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Today's Making Your Money Work is presented by Associated Bank, and now I am excited to be joined by Tamara Castle. So let's get this thing right started. We are talking about buying a home for first-time home buyers. Why do you think a credit score is important, and what score do I need to be approved for a loan?
Well, of course, we all know that credit score is important. It's really measuring your ability to borrow. So with Associated Bank, we need at least a 620 middle score. And what we do is help customers build up that credit. With me having a background as a counselor, I'm able to tell you, looking at your credit report, what little steps you will need to take to get it up to that 620. Because again, like you said, not everybody's ready to purchase with their score, but once you get some guidelines, some tips to bring that score up, we'll get you ready for the 620 and get you rolling.
I love that. So you help people actually even get it up to where it needs to be so they can buy a home.
Yes, and that makes the kind of difference between me and other loan officers is because I used to be a home buying counselor, so I can give tips while I'm actually doing the application.
What would you say are some benefits of getting a home loan with Associated Bank?
Well, number one is customer service. We strive on that, making sure that we have open communication, and again, using a CRA loan officer that's going to break down what you need versus the loan officer that just says, I can't help you. Click. We are actually going to sit with you, and whether it takes 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, we'll still be here to help you with that mortgage loan.
Well, I already know people are ready right now just from hearing this. So how can they contact someone at Associated Bank about getting started?
They can always go to associatebank.com. Obviously, you will look up Tamara Castle and reach out. The best way is phone 262-888-3135. We take the applications over the phone, face-to-face, or online.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tamara, for joining me here today.
Making your money work on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by Associated Bank. Your money works here. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I still want to know what defines a strong man or woman. It seems like the definition is not universal because one woman's definition of a strong man may not be another woman's definition of a strong man, maybe a strong man in one woman's eyes. And that's why it's so difficult for men, because we can only be the kind of man that we are. You probably want us, ladies, you want men to be authentic, do you not, ladies? Be who you are. Don't try to pretend to be somebody else. And if him being who he is not your definition of a strong man, don't berate and belittle that man. He just isn't for you. It's as simple as that. I don't know why we have to go to such extreme lengths, because everybody that you meet ain't gonna be for you. And maybe that is our own egos and our own arrogance, because we think that we are all so wonderful that anybody that we meet that has the divine pleasure of being in our presence, that we're supposed to be compatible with them. You shouldn't want to be compatible with everybody. For some, the definition of strong is someone that can put up with their moods and their abuse and their disrespect. You know, a man that can't put up with a woman's moods and abuse and disrespect, clearly it's weak. It's not that she needs to work on her emotional regulation, because why would you ever ask a woman to do that? The man needs to be able to take it and tolerate it. Gentlemen, in the 21st century, no more of that. We do not need to take on the burden of dealing with someone who was hurt, harmed, and unhealed, because hurt people hurt people. Because, fellas, we want to live a soft life, too. Look, this ain't the caveman days where I got to go out and kill a woolly mammoth. You know what we do now? I'll order you a woolly mammoth on DoorDash. You want a woolly mammoth? Okay, it'll be here in 15 to 27 minutes with a $4 tip. Ain't nobody out there slaying dragons anymore. And so then when it comes to money, maybe that's what it is. The man is supposed to provide. Okay, cool. Great. And here's the thing, because that's transactional now. If a man is supposed to provide, that makes a strong man, a man that can provide and take care of his family. His family or your illegitimate kids too? And I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, does that make him a man? If he refuses to take care of another man's children, is he less of a man? That demands an answer. If a woman, and I'm not talking about anybody specific, I'm talking in big, gross generalities. If a woman has 4 children and she meets a guy, she's got chemistry with a guy, they get along great, they have fun together, they got common interests, and he doesn't make enough money. Let's say he has 1 child or none. He now has to take on the responsibility of making sure that the woman that he loves and cares for is taken care of, because that could be a hell of an expense too. But then he also has to take care of her children. And I have seen men banished and shamed because they're not financially taking care of children. School clothes, food, taking them all out to eat. He's less of a man because the money that he earns and he works for, that's for himself and his retirement so he can live a soft life, he now has to take his money and spend that money on somebody else's kids. That boggles my mind. But then when he refuses to do that, then, oh, he's weak. Oh, he can't take care of me and my kids. I don't need him. You're right, you don't. Absolutely. But look, I get it. If that is a requirement that a man, in order to be considered strong or worthy, he's got to pay for stuff. He's got to take care of things. Okay, cool. But what is he getting for that transaction? Or is a part of a man being strong being financially dumb? Because if he's paying for, I don't know what he's paying for, whatever, the cost of living, transportation, paying for meals, whatever this man is supposed to pay for in this woman's eyes, okay? What does he get for that? If I go to the store and I see a pair of blue jeans that cost $39.99, is that even how much blue jeans cost? I don't even know. When I give them $39.99 plus Milwaukee sales tax, which ends up being $119.44 for some $39.99 jeans, for that money, I'm getting a pair of jeans that I can wear. I'm getting utility out of those jeans. But if I, as a man, am expected to financially take care of a woman, and I am not saying that that's bad because I've done it before, what should he get in return? Remember, if he goes to the store and conducts a transaction, he gets something for his $39.95. He gets some jeans that he can wear, that he can use, that he can get utility out of. Because jeans last a long time. You can buy a pair of jeans and they can last you a long time. I got some jeans, which might be as old as Zech. But if a man is paying for a woman's life and her lifestyle and being a good man and being a strong man by paying for everything, what is he getting? Because here's the thing. He can't have requirements and expectations of her. He can't require her to cook. He can't require her to clean. He can't require, he can enjoy those things if she chooses to do them, but he cannot say, hey, if I'm taking care of everything financially and paying your bills and paying the mortgage or paying the rent and buying food, here's what you absolutely have to do, because then he would be seen as a misogynist, right? So if he has a standard, he's a misogynist. If she has a standard, she's a queen. Just help me walk through this, because I think this is where a lot of our misconceptions are, and I'm seeing the battle of the sexes left and right on the internet. A man who works very hard for his money, and here's the other thing, a lot of times women don't see the work that men do to get to where they're at. Dude wasn't just born with a silver spoon. Now, some men are. Most men had to work their asses off, and they didn't arrive there until they got in their 40s or got in their 50s, and they got it together. Their life is together. They got the house. They got the little mortgage. They got a little money in the bank. They got, a couple little few investments. Now they're just expected to give it away. Where does that make sense? Because if a woman saved her money and earned her money, got a good job, and she had a bunch of 401ks and 403bs and money in the bank and investment, you think she's going to blow it all on a dude? Hell no. And we wouldn't expect her to. I'm going to take a break, come back, and talk to someone who's on line one that might be a little long-winded. I'm curious to what they have to say. You guys can guess as to who you think it is. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When it's time to upgrade your windows and doors, wouldn't you like to work with the best? But maybe you're thinking in these volatile times, I don't want to spend a fortune. Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. And right now, you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. And if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making payments up to 2 years. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you can get the look you want at a price you can afford. And with Pella's free in-home consultation, no obligation quote, and range of available financing, getting new windows and doors from Pella is easier than you think. Certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Don't miss 3 weekends of live music at Milwaukee Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, including Offset, Megan Thee Stallion, Bossman D-Lo, plus T Grizzly, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Fabulous, and more. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
(833-212-1017) 833-212-1017. Hello, Alan.
Hey, Sherwin, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Yeah, I'm listening to your show. I was just coming from City Hall. I was going to stop down there and say hi to you, but my wife called me. I got to get home. We got to go somewhere. You know, the thing with the money in the relationships is like this. As a guy, you get in a relationship. Hopefully, you can think, right? You have an ability to reason. You know who you are, and if you take on responsibilities, it's because you're taking on the responsibility. Ty don't owe me nothing. You know, if I chose to buy the house or whatever I chose to do, that was my money to do whatever I want with. You know, I'm not senile. I'm not. I'm able to do whatever I want.
You knew what you was getting into with her.
Anything.
You knew. It was a cost involved, Alan. No, y'all had an agreement.
Well, What was the agreement?
I don't know. Share it with us.
So we started the agreement? No, we didn't. The agreement was actually we adopted children. We adopted the kids. She was foster when I met her. I knew that. Well, I knew I'd be better with the kids because they were special needs and all that. But she was like, you need to just be here, and I couldn't do that. So I went back to I went back into business, where I could make my own hours and everything. Money is, she got her own money because I tell her to save and take advantage of what your job gives you and max it out. I understand that, right? I mean, if I have X amount of dollars, I can do whatever I want with my money. We've run into situations where I have maybe given her, where I've gone to a bank and they locked me in a room at a bank, and the bank president put me like I came in with a cashier's check for a certain amount of money, and I wanted to just pay off all her debt, but I wanted her to do it, right? So they put me in a room like I was mentally slow or something. I actually took a nap, and then they came in. So I said, "What was the problem?" It was a cashier's check. It cleared right away. It's cash. I just don't. I don't understand where we make sacrifices in life. I mean, maybe I don't want to go shopping today, right? Maybe I really don't. But then if I said, "Okay, go," you can go. How would I feel if that's the day that some knucklehead comes into the store because he's got a problem with his ex and does something, and she ends up getting hurt? Those are responsibilities that I took on when I got with her. I took on that I'm going to be you're my best friend. You're probably my only friend, but I'm going to take care of you every way I possibly can. Nobody's going to harm you. It's
All
never
right,
going to happen.
so you have that agreement. You're going to protect her, and she's going to save her money from her job, and you're going to, because I got to move it along, Alan, because I got to move it along.
I pay the bill.
Okay.
I pay the bill.
Yes.
But I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. Every day, she will. I got a meal every single day. When I go to work, I come home. She'll ask me what I want. I'm like, I don't know what I want. Whatever you want to make. I mean, the one time she made something, only one time did I complain. Because who are we to complain if somebody's doing something for us?
All right.
That's all.
We'll leave it there, Alan. Otherwise, we're going to end up talking about a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense.
No, I stayed on point today pretty good, man.
All right. Thank you for staying almost kind of on point. I don't know what just happened right there. I don't know what that was. Reginald says, take a date on a hunting and fishing trip and compare the quality and quantity of your take versus the eating establishment, and you shall be impressed. So that's a you thing, Reginald. I'm not taking a woman on a date where there's guns. Ain't no way. I won't even go to a shooting range with a woman. Well, I won't do it. Even if she has her own gun. Hell no. Never. I won't do it. Been asked to go to a shooting range date. Has anybody ever gone on a shooting range date? I would love to hear from you. I thought it was a setup. Why would you ask me to go to a shooting range? What you trying to do? What's going to happen? A shooting range? Not doing it. I would rather ride on the back of a woman's motorcycle, which you can't do. And I know a woman with a motorcycle. She's got a Harley. I'd have to ride on the back. Would that look funny? Have you ever seen that before? I'd ride on the back of her Harley and hang on to her real tight. Like, oh my God, this is so fun. Oh, you're going too fast. Slow down. So do you want me to lean with you when you turn, or do I not lean? I'd ride on the back of a motorcycle, but I will not. Have I ever seen that before? If a woman says, hey, I'm driving, cool. And a lot of times women don't drive on dates. That's another responsibility of the man. We're getting so far off topic here. I got other stuff I want to discuss. We'll discuss the different levels of the internet for hour 3, which starts in about a minute. But if a woman says, hey, Sherwin, I'm driving, I love to hear that. That's so wonderful, because a lot of times women don't want to drive. And if she shows up at my house with a motorcycle, she's like, come on, get on the back. what am I supposed to do? Not go? I get on the back of the motorcycle. I just don't want y'all to judge me. And also, if you happen to see me on the back of a woman's motorcycle riding around the city this summer, because you know sometimes when you on the back of a motorcycle, because you got to like bend over a little bit, your butt crack sticks out. If y'all see my butt crack going up and down Wisconsin Avenue, just mind your business, okay? We listen, we don't judge. Wait a minute, isn't that Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth on the back of that motorcycle with that woman? Why is Sherwin's butt crack hanging out?
I'm going to be like, look at Sherwin thick ass on that bike.
I mean, I would rather do that than go on a shooting range date. Because I don't want to hang. That's not cool. I don't want to go shoot guns with a woman. No, thank you.
You scared?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Like the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate. What's her name? Lynn Whitfield?
Did she shoot? Was Martin in that?
Yeah, she shot all through the house.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Somebody asked me to go on a shooting range date with them, and I thought it was a setup for my homicide. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam. This is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Song about opening someone up and feeding them almond joy.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I will have you all know Almond Joy is live on YouTube. Al's single is now live on YouTube. There you go. Zach, did you know that BBL Drizzy's an AI song? How come y'all didn't tell me that?
You're the only one that didn't know it.
I am the only one that didn't know. No, I'm not. There's other people that probably didn't know.
Oh, Zach said you didn't know because you're not a real DJ.
Fair, I'll take that. You know what? I'm going to apologize to you both. I'm not a real DJ. I'm not.
I actually like the song.
Now, I'm a music producer, distributor, marketer. I'm an A&R. I'm a production engineer. I'm a sound engineer. So screw being a DJ. Screw playing somebody else's music. I make my own music.
Don't. A&R is wild. Sound engineer is wild. Production engineer, that's really wild.
I made this song.
If anything, you're just a composer and producer.
That's a lot.
That's about it. You just named like 6 different things.
Okay. Do y'all not know how music actually works? Y'all a couple of DJs. Y'all just play other people's records. It's 20 people that are involved in making a song. And a lot of times the person who's performing it didn't write it. They're just performing it.
I'm giving you your credit. I said if anything, you are the composer, producer, songwriter. That's about as much as you just did. Well, so a lot of people get this misconstrued when it comes to producers. Just because you don't play the exact instruments does not mean that you're not the producer. As long as you're telling somebody what note to hit and what instrument to use, you're technically a producer.
But he's not doing that.
I mean, y'all. Okay, here's how it works. I don't know. Why am I explaining to lay people how it works? Zach, you can put in a string of words that describes a melody, a harmony, a beat, a bass line, different instruments. You might want strings. You might want...
That doesn't mean you're a producer because you know nothing about musical notes. You know nothing about time signatures, key signatures, note changes, whatever. You are, if anything, you are a programmer that is programming a software to do it. But you're not a producer.
Producer is an active word. It's a verb. It means production. Whatever my process is, as long as something comes out on the other side, I produce it.
No, the software is producing it. You are programming the software to produce it.
Is assembling it. And here's what the difference is. You and I could put in the exact same words, and it would come up with 2 totally different songs. So to that extent, yes, the software is doing its job, but I am guiding and directing it like a musical composer. You know, I'm guiding the drums and guiding the symphony and guiding the strings and the woodwinds, and you make you all work together to create beautiful music. Blue Mist is available now on all of the music streaming platforms. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, iHeart, somewhere else too. It's all over the place. All right, I got stuff I got to talk about. Stop distracting me. So grind culture is over, ladies and gentlemen. We all need to be living much more softer lives. Grind culture is not liberation, and we as black folks need to know that. It is quiet oppression wearing a nice outfit. It tricks us into measuring our worth by our output. It convinces us that burnout is noble, that if you're not exhausted, you're not doing enough. Who wants to live like that? Think about all the modern conveniences that we have, all of the things that were created and invented so we can live softer lives. Being booked and busy is not a flex. Having the most important thing to a human being, and it's not money, it's friends, it's family, and it's time. The time that you spend with your friends, with your family, doing the things that you love to do, living life on your own terms, that is the key, in my opinion, to success. It's not doing all this stuff all the time and complaining about how hard you work and how much you work. Who wants to do that much work? And also, here's the other thing. If you love what you do, and this is the first thing I would ever encourage anyone to do, and this is what I tell young people. Sherwin, what should I do? What you love. But what if what I love doesn't matter? Do it. Do a version of it. That is the most money you're ever going to make. Doing what you love, because you will be so good at it, you will excel at it unlike anything else, because the further you go, the more fulfilling you personally get. Don't we want to be personally fulfilled with our jobs? I never could work at a job that didn't give me personal fulfillment. And I took a job for money once, and the money was incredible. It really was. This was the job that I took after I left Congressman Tom Barrett's office. Oh, I played Almond Joy for Tom Barrett. Rick, you looked at me crazy on Friday when Tom was here and I played Almond Joy. Tom,
yes, I looked up, I'm like, nigga.
I wanted to get his reaction.
He didn't even understand what was going on at the moment.
His face didn't change. Like his face.
He didn't know what the song like.
Because when he first got here, you had to play a song. You played a Jodeci song. And he was like, oh, good song. Okay, so he was listening to the music. I was like, okay, Tom is listening to the music. Let me hit him with this Almond Joy. His face just, he didn't move.
Pause.
He just... Y'all black folks need to get over this homophobia stuff. We ain't doing all this pausing. It's Pride Month. A bunch of y'all are gay.
Oh, it is Pride Month. Yeah, it is.
Y'all doing all this pause and all that. No, man. Ain't nobody... And if somebody is gay, so what?
Okay, we all pause for Pride Month.
Pause means not gay, right?
Exactly, yes.
But we need to get over the homophobia stuff. Black folks are the most homophobic people on the planet. Who cares?
So for all Pride Month, it's all pause.
We are going to allow people to have their month, just like Black History Month. Like, I'm not going to ruin Pride Month for the gays and the L's and the B's and the G's and the Q's and the pluses, because they didn't ruin our month.
Absolutely not. You're right. So tomorrow, how about we do this? Me and you come with pink collar shirts.
That's stereotypical.
That's not.
First of all, I wear pink anyway. Pink ain't got nothing to do with pride. Why are you being homophobic?
I'm coming with hot pink. I'm going to show my feminine side.
All right. Zach, don't do it. Look, you got to stop doing that.
I was a fairy. Yep. I was a fairy.
That's not a gay song either. But I think when guys do this fairy dance, and they do, because it's a whole...
You are fairy with a fatty on my daddy.
That's what happens when black men are raised by nothing but women. They get up here and do the fairy dance. Okay, let's talk to Tori. Tori, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm well as well.
Okay, good. So real quick on the follow your passion conversation, I think we got to rethink that and think more about talent versus passion, because we're all passionate about something, but at the end of the day, very few of us, if we follow that passion, are really going to have a job that makes money and higher earning potential and et cetera. But
the passion has to be realistic.
Yeah, but most people aren't. So I think, like, with my young boys, I'm like, why don't you focus more on what you're, like, naturally talented at? And that's different for all of us, but not, like my older son's very passionate about music and filmmaking. And once had this pie in the sky idea, like how he was going to move to LA and become a filmmaker. I had to bring him back down to earth and say, that's cool that you're passionate about that, but let's talk about the reality of it. Where's your talent lie? And then in your off time, you do what you're passionate about. And if you're that good at it, then you'll make money at it.
But maybe that is where his talent is, where his passion is. If that's what drives him, what he dreams about, what he thinks about, where his motivation is, why wouldn't we want to encourage that? And I appreciate you, bringing your son, quote, back down. But I think that's exactly what I'm talking about. We diminish somebody else's passion because it's not our passion, or we don't see how it's realistic. We don't have to see how it's realistic because it's not our passion. Maybe one day he will be a filmmaker, and one day he'll be congratulating his mother when he gets an Oscar, but he also is going to say, my mother didn't want me to make this film. She wanted me to go be a butcher, a baker, or a candlestick maker. It's good that he has that passion. Now, you got to do stuff to make money, to sustain yourself while you potentially follow that passion, but don't extinguish it if he wants to be a filmmaker and if he's passionate for music. We need more people like him.
Oh, for sure. And I agree with you on that. But there's this fine line, right? And I think when we spread the idea of, like, go do what you're passionate about and everything will work out just fine isn't realistic. So I'm trying to balance that. And especially in a young man who's 21, I'm trying to teach him life skills, how to live independently, etc.
Okay.
And figure all this out. I mean, all of us when we were 2021 thought we were better than we were, honestly. So
those things can
I'm just trying
coexist
to,
at once. You can teach him life skills and also tell him to follow his passion. But more importantly, don't let anyone extinguish his fire.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Thank you for your call.
Just a little bit of a distinction. Thank you.
All right, Tori. I know when I see Tori on the caller ID, I get a little nervous because one day Tori Lowe will call my show. Hey, Brother Sherwin. How you doing, Brother Sherwin? It's Tori Lowe from 1 to 4. There's a movement happening slowly but surely. Folks are unplugging from the hustle. They're choosing joy, softness, and stillness. They're reclaiming the radical idea that black people deserve rest. Not after the work, not just on Sundays, but we deserve rest as a birthright. Ooh, I like this. Because rest is resistance, rest is recovery, rest is revolution. So to you that are listening right now, if you've been grinding nonstop, this is your reminder. You don't have to earn rest. You already deserve it. Your value is not in your grind. It is in your being. So breathe, stretch, and let go. And remember, we were never meant to survive on burnout. We were meant to thrive on balance, to live, not just hustle. Oh, that's really, really good. And I want more of us to take that advice. When did we start believing that exhaustion was a badge of honor? When did, quote, I'm booked and busy replace I'm whole and healthy? Grind culture, this never stop, sleep when you're dead mentality, has been eating at black folks for generations. We inherited it from survival, from our ancestors who had to work twice as hard for half as much, from parents who broke their backs just to keep the lights on. We have been taught that rest is weak and hustle is wholeness. There's something in here that sparked my attention. Question to the black people. Do we have to work twice as hard to get half as much? Does that still apply to us? I'm being honest. Do you all work double the hours of your non-black counterparts and make half the money? Do you have to work twice as hard, twice as long to get half of the result? Because I'll be honest with you, and maybe this is something, a bit of progress that we have made as black people that we are not inventorying. I don't work twice as hard as anybody. I don't. So we need to stop saying that if it ain't true. Now, some of you, maybe some of you do work twice as hard and get half as much. Not me. I work at a level that incorporates my experience and my talent. That's it. I don't try to hurt myself. I don't stress myself out. I do radio for a living, broadcast media, and a few other things, okay? I'm here for the attempt. So it's not like, oh, Sherwin, you have to have a really super good show or we're not going to pay you. No, I get paid regardless. If I have a good show, that's just a bonus. Because some of my shows are not very good, but which is fine because then I'll just come back the next day and hopefully improve on it. But here's the truth. Grind culture is not liberation. It's quiet oppression in a nice outfit. It tricks us into measuring our worth not by our output. It convinces us that burnout is noble, that if you're not exhausted, you are not doing enough. All right, I'm going to take a break. Come back. Let's talk about, did you guys know there's different levels of the internet? Like a bunch of different levels? We're going to talk about those on the other side because and maybe you guys know. Apparently, I'm the last one to find out about stuff. I didn't know that the song BBL Drizzy was an AI song, which I think furthers my case. Because if you have a mega producer like Metro Boomin using AI, and that was a hit song, it probably climbed up some chart somewhere, well, then clearly AI is the wave of the future. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation. Unfortunately, violence is on the rise in Milwaukee, and this is a problem which impacts us all. Please join me and the Truth Team on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for our third annual Walk Against Violence, supported by 1MKE. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community. To join our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 12th, visit truthwalkagainstviolence.com to sign up today.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl Noni Juice for my friends at Steinhafels. And guess what? Steinhafels Memorial Day sale has been extended. It's your last chance to save 10% off store-wide, plus get amazing deals like sofas for $4.99, dining tables at $5.49, and queen beds at just $6.99. Plus, take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month 0% financing to make your purchase even more affordable. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need the $100 hookup. This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the $100 hookup. And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, at 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. Ricky on the decks got the baseline thumping. In his pocket cashews, always something munching. Almonds in the booth while the crowd keeps jumping. Pistachio dreams got the rhythm pumping. Ricky spin the tracks, got the nuts in his stash. Peanuts in his palm while the vinyl go flash. Macadamia grooves, hazelnut dash. Ricky and his nuts, always got the stash. Walnuts in his hoodie.
Israel, you're supposed to be banned.
Scratching on the records, pecan routine.
But for some reason, I have to take your call because it's always so incredibly entertaining.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning. What'd you do this weekend,
All right,
Israel?
so I was listening to your show and I heard.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. Before we get to that, what did you do this weekend? Tell me about your weekend.
I waited for Monday.
You waited for Monday. So what did you do Friday evening?
Yeah, I waited for today. Excuse me?
What did you do Friday evening? Do you work? Do you have a job?
No, I don't.
Took you a long time to figure that out.
Anyway.
So how do you, hold on now?
No,
don't know me. How do you pay your bills?
Why is that relevant for you? Why is that relevant? Why did I call you and you asked me questions?
Because I'm trying to get to know the people that listen to my program. I'm just curious. Maybe you can inspire someone.
I'm not dating right now, so I'm not dating right now, so you don't have to worry about that. But I got a funny story to tell you.
But how do you pay your bills? You got to work like part-time. Are you rich? Do you have a bunch of money?
Why are you asking me these questions?
Why are you getting mad?
I'm not getting mad. I'm kind of curious why you sticking your hands in my pocket trying to figure out
trust me, I'm not sticking my hands anywhere near you, sir. You can bet on that.
Watch your mouth.
But hold on, I'm just curious.
You need to worry about the federal government what I be doing.
Okay, so when the rent is due, what do you say? Hi, landlord. You just pull your pockets out like the rabbit ears in your pockets. You just pull your pockets inside out. Like, what do you do when it's rent time?
I just blame racism for everything.
How do you eat? Are you going to have lunch today? You're probably going to have lunch. It's almost lunchtime. What are you going to have?
No, I had a late breakfast after exercising. But it's kind of weird though how we you said people need rest.
I'm not giving up here. So where did you go for breakfast, or did you make breakfast? What did you have?
So like you said, people have an issue with like rest and stuff like that.
What did you have for breakfast?
Why do we carry so much like trauma? Why do we carry so much trauma and like conditioning and like ideology from like slavery? Even like black business owners, like they treat their customers pretty bad sometimes, and they come in on a power trip.
Damn. What are you gonna have for dinner? Hello? Where do you eat? What's your favorite restaurant?
So like we got issue like job. We got issue with Job Corps closing and everything.
Speaking of Job Corps, have you ever been there?
And then how?
Hey, you said the word Job Corps. You're right. Have you ever thought about going to Job Corps?
Why? Like, so what do we like really have to fall back on? Like, even like when people,
what do you have to fall back on? What if you need like a car repair?
Black business, like when black business owners get on everything.
How do you? So what did you have? Can we start with breakfast? What did you have for breakfast? Did you have a hearty breakfast?
There's something wrong with people.
You better believe it. I agree with you on that. So, okay, what about lunch? Have you thought about? He hung up. That's not a personal question. Asking somebody what they do for a living. So then I got less personal. I asked the man what he had for breakfast. How does a person with no job gonna talk about Job Corps?
Sherwin.
What?
Why?
Because first of all, he's banned, and he's lucky that we even took his call. That's number one. Number two, that's not a personal question. If somebody asked me what I do for a living, even when I didn't have a job, I'm like, oh, I'm between jobs right now. I'm unemployed. It happens to everybody. But he calls every day. He said he had breakfast, and he said he worked out. Does the man got a gym membership somewhere?
Possibly.
I'm just curious. I want to know what the listeners of this program, and he listens.
What got me was when you said, what did you do last night? He said, wait till Monday. Oh,
I believe it. I believe he waited till today. He missed us here.
I died.
All right, let's talk to Al. Hello, Al. How are you doing?
What it do? First of all, when you bring up, women paying for babysitters, you're talking about a certain class of a woman. Because if she's taking care of her kids, she ain't going to want your money because everything is terminated at will. Neither you or her know how long you're going to be alone. Number two, for the men, you're not really talking about a man. You're talking more about of a trick. Because he already know what he's trying to do. Because, see, any man is not going to come out trying to play Captain Superman by throwing out all that money. See, real men...
It's not tricking if you got it, Al.
Well, exactly, but see, they knew the terms and conditions, so they can't get mad about what they're doing because they came with that pocketbook because they already knew they lacked confidence, mentally. So a lot of them allowed to be abused. A lot of them like to be mentally trained because they feel they can't get no better. So they are mentally trained, and the only thing can be trained as a dog. And when you talked about these are not men you're talking about tricks. Because, a lot of tricks feel they have to pay. You know what I'm saying? Number three, Clothes does not make the person. It's the person within the clothes. Because I have worn $30 outfits and still was able to get to Cary, Illinois, Lake Forest, Illinois, Hindales, Naperville, Illinois, and Slim butt naked in a swimming pool while they watched. So clothes mean absolutely nothing because you take them out of clothes, you still might get stale goods. You feel what I'm saying, Mr. Hughes? See, the moral of the story is you got to have confidence in whatever you do, whether you're in a $30 outfit or a $200 outfit or a $2,000 outfit. Confidence is what set the place. And another thing I want to tell you, for very confident women, they ain't going to need your money. They already getting money. You know what I mean? And the same with men. Men ain't going to take no abuse because they don't allow abuse, because they already know their terms and conditions. For some who like to be abused, they like it because they have no choice. So if you like it, I love it. Enjoy it. So we got to definitely put that out there. And I just wanted to call and share that information. But in the same token, if you're trying to compete, you're going to be always last to get picked and chose. Because when you compete, you do it with a different energy. When you are confident, it's like fishing. You're going to put the meat out, and you're going to let them bite. And before I go, happy Pride. And Jesus didn't care about slaves for 400 years. So he don't care who you do a fellatio to.
Hey!
And he don't care what.
He should care.
And he don't care. No, he shouldn't. He sat at the table with 12 disciples with drawers and ran with a prostitute and didn't get no sex, no head, okay? And one more thing before I go. Whether you a bulldacker or a dyke and you're licking and bumping breath, Jesus don't care, because the procreation was in the slave that he turned his back on. Have a good day, everybody. Get it how you get it. Bye-bye.
Get it how you get it. Almond Joy. New single out featuring Al, produced by DJ Shirt Diddy. In Apple stores, iHeartMedia, and other streaming.
Al just takes over this whole show. He's got music. He's got sound bites.
He's the people's favorite.
He really is. We had a trial for him because he, believe it or not, there was a period of time where he was even more obscene, and management was like, yo, this dude has got to stop calling. And people were wondering, like, yo, where's Al? Because if somebody didn't listen to the show for a couple of days and then they started listening again, they will ask, oh, where's Al? Did Al call? And I'd have to tell folks, well, he got banned. And a lot of people voiced their strong opinions against Al getting banned. So we had an actual trial, all on the radio. Al had his prosecutors. Dion was one of them. Dion didn't like Al, doesn't like the vulgarities of Al, so Dion was prosecuting the case as to why Al should be banned permanently. But then Al also had a team of defense lawyers, one of which was Miss Rose and the other was Andy Positive. And then we voted. Really? You guys remember? Oh yeah.
What was I?
You on a
DC and Telly show or something?
You weren't even here yet, dude. This was years ago.
Because I'm like, I don't remember none of this.
Rhea might have been my producer at the time, and so the prosecutor, I think Meech prosecuted. It was Meech and Dion that tried to prosecute Al because they didn't want him to call ever again. And then the defense was Miss Rose and Andy Positive, and then we let the people vote. You texted in to 833-212-1017 a 1 if Al should come back, a 2 if he should stay permanently banned. It was like 50-9. So Al's back. All right, let's take a commercial break. I got to tell you guys about the different levels of the internet. I'm learning so much more about the internet and about computer technology, and I spent a lot of time exploring the different bells and whistles and options and things with artificial intelligence over the weekend. But I want to tell you about these different levels of the internet that you guys may not even have known that they existed. I'm going to tell you about those on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Carrie Noni with her truth.
You know, sometimes the mundane isn't a burden, it's the beauty of living. I came to this conclusion after recently watching the movie Subservience on Netflix. It's a crazy film, y'all. I would suggest you check it out. But it's a story that explores our relationship with technology and how it's programmed to take our burdens away. This movie really got me thinking about how much we're wired to avoid struggle. We create tools and shortcuts to make life easier, whether it's robots, apps, or even outsourcing everyday tasks. But in the process, we risk forgetting the value of the little things we go through every day. Sure, folding laundry or grocery shopping might feel like chores. I literally dread cleaning up. But isn't there something grounding about them? Something that reminds us we're human. Life isn't just about the highlights or the easy parts. It's about the messy, repetitive, and sometimes inconvenient stuff too. Think about it. Who would you be if you didn't have to face the small frustrations that test your patience, or the routines that push you to show up for yourself or the people around you? The mundane moments, the ones we rush to escape, are often the ones that shape us. If life was nothing but convenience, where's the growth? Where's the grit that teaches us resilience? And most importantly, where's the appreciation for the moments that do take our breath away? So maybe the next time you find yourself annoyed by the daily grind and are on the brink of crashing out, you pause, you breathe, and remind yourself that the beauty of life isn't just in the big moments, but in every little thing that makes them possible.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This beat is so hot. You know what this is like? This is like walking into a lounge in downtown Chicago after work, or like a rooftop lounge in Chicago, way up high overlooking the city, and it's a white dude DJ with some Oakleys on, just like grooving to this. He just pretending he's DJing.
I can see that. I could picture that. You're right.
I made this. I'm coming out with a whole, there you go, Rick. There you go. Pump that fist. I'm coming out with a techno album. Chicago House. Only good things that come out of Chicago: hot dogs and music. That's it. And not even really Kanye. We're still trying to figure out how we can play Kanye's newest single. I think I can maybe get away with it, but he says something real offensive in the song, but I don't want to, I don't want to offend anybody. Even when I try not to offend people, somebody finds a way to get offended by what I say. Okay. What? People just got soft. When I say we want to live a softer life, I don't mean be soft when it comes to every damn thing. Just live a more gentle life where you're not grinding all the time, you're not hustling all the time. Relax a little bit more. It's okay to take time for yourself, to rebuild yourself, to repair yourself. Our ancestors struggled a lot. We don't need to struggle. We got to stop calling people lazy when they need to rest. Sometimes you got to rebuild yourself. I want you to be restful. Pow! There. Tori, you don't get no rest. Tori, hey, Tori Lowe, I'll be in the streets. I'll be out there every day fighting violence. You gonna call Tori Lowe one day when you go missing, and I will come find you by myself.
So I need y'all to open up your ears and pay attention.
That's pretty good, Tori Lowe, actually.
Thank you.
Do we have any other Tori Lowe hotkeys? They're over here thinking I'm not going to talk about the different levels of the internet, and I got to prove them wrong. What about Liz Brown? What happened to our Liz Brown hotkeys? There she is.
That part.
Yeah, there she is. Sounds like she's here. All right, let's see what we got here. The surface web. That's the internet that she used. Everything is indexed by search engines like Google or Bing. Question, does anybody use Bing? Bing is stupid. Sometimes when you download like new versions of Windows, whatever, it'll be like, hi, do you want Bing to be your default browser? No! Google only. News websites, all social media, blogs, any kind of e-commerce, Amazon, Team, YouTube, that is the surface web. That is the internet that we are all familiar with. Access. Everyone has access to it if you have a connected device, Wi-Fi, broadband. That is the surface web. That is the web that we use every single day. Okay, you're very familiar with it. Some of you have been using the internet for 30 years, right? Then the next level of the internet is called the deep web. Don't let that title fool you into thinking it's something nefarious. So the deep web is just like your medical records or academic databases. So think this, anything you need a password to access. That could be your email. That could be your little bank account. Some of you have very big bank accounts. Some of you are rich. In fact, Steve the Stoner needs money for his legal bills. Those of you that are listening that are rich, give Steve the Stoner some money. Never mind the $50,000 in cash he had in his latest video. That money doesn't count. But the deep web is anything you need a password to access. There's nothing nefarious about it. Internal corporate systems. Sometimes when you get to work, you got to log into your computer, right? If you have a work computer that's connected to the other computers, that is what is called the deep web. There's nothing nefarious about that. Now the next one, number 3, is called the dark web. It's a small, encrypted part of the deep web that requires special tools like an onion router or I2P to access. So when I first found out about the dark web, it was 2012, and there's software that you have to download to be able to access it. And there were these websites. It was anything you could ever imagine with zero censorship. And also, it was, how do I say, run by Bitcoin. Wait, who is this, Ricky?
We have a caller that wants to give you your flowers.
Sounds like a setup. All right.
It's not a setup.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Hughes.
Hi.
It's not a setup. I called to say hello to you, Mr. Hughes, and Rick, because you are helping me get through this Monday.
Oh.
I've had a long 6 months. I am so sleepy today, but it's almost lunchtime, and I appreciate your callers and you and your humor. Rick and his singing today and his pink collar shirt. And I would love to hear you do the previous or past Sheriff Clark's, what do you call it?
Wow.
His him having his horse or not having his horse.
You remember when I used to do Sheriff Clark impressions?
Sherwin, I love you. Sometimes I get kind of ticked, but 99.9% of the time I love listening to you. Nobody can touch you when it comes to your knowledge of politics and how you're helping us get through these days.
Well, I love you right back. Well, thank you. What could I ever say that ticks you off? I don't ever tick anybody off. It's never on purpose.
It's that 0.1%. Who doesn't?
All right.
But you, Sherwin, you are it. I love you all.
We love you too. Thank you.
I'm listening. Have a good day.
Oh, you too.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. I didn't even know who that lady was. What was her name? Did she say her name? It doesn't matter.
I believe it was Jean.
Thank you, Jean, if that's what your name was. See there? That's why I do what I do. I haven't done it in years.
I remember.
I haven't done a Sheriff David Clark impression since David Clark was sheriff. And one day, he heard me do it. I used to do it all the time because people used to request it. I don't even know if I can do it anymore. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for it.
Yeah, because I remember he either called or he walked in and...
Yeah, I did it. I think I was interviewing him that day, and he was in the lobby, and I think that there was a radio playing, and I was like, hey, everybody, Sheriff David Clark is going to be here. And hey, I'm going to come in. I got a horse. I'm going to ride my horse, and I'm going to show up at your parade, however the damn impression went. And then he walked in the door, and I was like, oh. Because he was a menacing-looking guy. Everywhere he went, he had his gun on him. He had his gun. He wore his sheriff's outfit, had his sheriff's hat on. Well, that was pretty funny. You're lucky I got a sense of humor. He got in a little trouble. He was on a flight. I'll never forget this. Because he would fill in for conservative talk radio hosts on WISN 1130. He also was a political pundit on Fox News. Okay, national Fox News would have David Clark on often. He was on a flight coming back from Texas. I'll never forget this. And there was a guy on the flight, also from Milwaukee, who was giving Sheriff David Clark a hard time. So the guy that was giving the sheriff a hard time on his flight was a progressive, was a liberal, and David Clark was a Trumper. So I guess the entire flight, this dude harassed the sheriff. Plane landed, and you guys know the sheriff's deputies provide security at the airport. So the plane lands, and David Clark ordered his deputies to detain the guy and search all of his bags, which is totally illegal. Like, he was just badgering and heckling the sheriff, but he was a conservative elected official in Milwaukee County. David Clark got it all the time. But for some reason, this dude got under David Clark's skin so bad that once they landed, he had his sheriff's deputies detain this guy at the airport, and they searched all of his bags. So I guess the guy filed a lawsuit, and it made national news. So all of these news outlets wanted to talk to David Clark after that happened. They wanted to know, what the hell was he thinking? Why would he abuse his power? They were shocked that his skin was so thin. Why would you have your deputies... the dude was held for hours. You can go look it up. There's probably somewhere on, if you Google it, David Clark getting into this altercation with this guy on this airplane coming back from Texas, searched his bags and everything. David Clark wasn't doing any interviews with anybody. National News wanted him. CNN wanted him. Fox News wanted him. Locally, Charlie Sykes wanted him. Charlie Sykes was still on the air at 620 WTMJ at the time. Jay Weber, who's the other nutcase? Mark Belling wanted him. He didn't do any media except for me. I'm the only show that he came on. The only one. So I think I'm proud of that. I think. Here's the thing about David Clark. A lot of that was for show. If you run for public office, I don't recommend this, but if you run for public office in Milwaukee County, remember the suburbs are conservative, the city is liberal, more Democratic voting. A lot of people voted for Sheriff David Clark because they liked the fact that we had an African-American sheriff. Here's the thing. People that vote in sheriff's elections are much more likely to be older, okay? Because if I'm not mistaken, sheriff's elections are they spring elections? Hell, I can't remember. So there was a cohort of African Americans in the city of Milwaukee that voted for David Clark because he was black. But then there was another cohort of people that voted for David Clark in the suburbs and the surrounding areas in Milwaukee County because of his conservative stances. One of the best radio shows I ever did my entire life. It was David Clark It was Mandela Barnes and it was Lena Taylor. And you would have thought that would have been nothing but sparks and arguing and yelling and screaming, you know, old lefty, liberal, progressive, old hippie Mandela Barnes and, you know, Lena as well, Lena. And then David Clark. And for an hour and a half, we talked about family. We talked about education. It was one of the best radio shows that I ever did, and I wish I could go back and find it. But that was way back before we even had podcasts. He did all that stuff for show. Dude didn't even believe most of the stuff that he said. And also, I know stories about David Clark because, you know, he was a Milwaukee cop for 20-something years before he ran for sheriff. He used to get in trouble. I'm not going to put all his business out there, but Art Jones would tell me, like, Sherwin, David Clark would find himself in all sorts of trouble, and I used to go and have to get him out of trouble all the time. David Clark didn't used to be like that. He acted that way and put on that front that he was all super conservative and super Trumpy so he could get reelected, and he wanted to serve in the Trump administration. But ultimately, I think that they found out he wasn't authentic, and Donald Trump didn't offer him anything. Are we still talking about the internet? Yes. The dark web. I got to take a break. Oh, I got to read a bunch of stuff, too. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back. We're going to finish talking about the different levels of the internet. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Summer in Milwaukee is nonstop. Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season you already know. From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment. Music, flavor, culture, whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit, make sure you experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Victory Garden Initiative is an 1.5 acre urban farm that sits right in the middle of the Black community on Richards and Concordia. I don't know if you know that Harambe is a food desert. So within its borders, there are no major grocery stores. So people rely on things like dollar store, corner stores, liquor stores to buy food, which is all unhealthy. Everything we grow, and we grow everything, tomatoes to potatoes to carrots to corn to onions, and so on. And everything we grow is free to the community. It started in 2009. They wanted to build a sustainable food production system that was healthy and sustainable. And what that meant was giving people the resources to grow their own food and the skills to make sure that those attempts were successful.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they have been proudly serving the Milwaukee community for over 26 years from their location on the corner of 5-4 and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. They offer a range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit them at greatimpress.com. That is greatimpress.com. Great Impressions, they're here when you need them. And Truth Nation, please join us for the 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee on Thursday, June 19th. The Truth will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Stop by our broadcast, say hello, and get some free Truth swag. Juneteenth in Milwaukee is one of the oldest and biggest Juneteenth celebrations in the country, so don't miss out on your chance to celebrate with us on Juneteenth's broadcast presented by Hope Christian Schools and Carroll University. 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, Educators Credit Union, and Associated Bank. And I won't be there, so don't come looking for me. Truth Nation, violence is a problem that affects us all, but together we can make a difference. That's why we're hosting our third annual Truth Walk Against Violence, led by Tori Lowe, on Saturday, July 12th, from Victory Over Violence Park down MLK Drive right to our studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Over the next month, Tori Lowe will be speaking with politicians and community leaders about how we can better provide resources to stop the rise of violence. If you want to join the fight to stop violence, go to truthwalkagainstviolence.com right now to sign up for our Walk Against Violence, supported by 1MKE on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. until noon. Oh boy, it's in red, so it must be serious. You see this, Zach? It's in red. It's the conversation Milwaukee's been waiting for, it says. Be sure to check out The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris today at 4:05. Dr. Ken will have an exclusive one-on-one with MPS Superintendent Brenda Casilius. What's the state of Milwaukee public school system? What changes can we expect? Will we get answers to those questions and more? So lock into The Truth today at 4:05, not 4:06, and not 4:04 either. You'll be too early. 4:05. I hear Dr. Ken's exclusive interview with MPS Superintendent Brenda Casilius right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. All right. What song was this? Avenues West. Track number 4 on Blue Mist. Somebody asked me if Al's Almond Joy song is going to be on Blue Mist. No! Blue Mist is already out. And it's taking the world by storm. People are going nuts. People are following me down the street, yelling, screaming. Sherwin, we love it. The dark web. Known for anonymous communication, underground markets, including drugs, weapons, and fake documents. You can buy anything on the dark web. You can order a hitman. But here's the thing. Don't go there. Because if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't mask your computer, your device, your internet protocol, you will get hacked. And there's very sinister people. This is why I don't invest in Bitcoin. Because when I first discovered the dark web, you can buy anything. Anything. There's very scary things on the dark web, and you can only access it. Really, what I would recommend, and I'm not recommending it. You download an app called Tor, the Onion router. You need an Onion browser, a specific kind of browser. There is an underground YouTube. There's an underground Google search. I'm scared to even tell you guys about it because you're going to see some sinister things. But if you want to purchase something on the dark web, you can do so anonymously, and Bitcoin was the currency. So when I first heard about Bitcoin probably 14 years ago, that's what it was used for. It was a digital, untraceable currency, so you could buy illegal things on the dark web. And because Bitcoin has gone mainstream, doesn't mean that I'm going to invest in it because I know originally what it was used for. It is used essentially to launder money or to buy things illegally from sinister actors on the internet. And to that, I say no thank you. All right. Access requires special browsers, the Tor browser or .onion links. Legal status. It's not illegal to access the dark web, but many activities are illegal. There also are government agents all over the dark web trying to catch people that are involved in nefarious things. Like you need a new email address. You need a virtual private network that can mask where your internet protocol is. It's way too much. And if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're going to get hacked. And you don't want to get hacked because then those sinister people on the dark web will get all up in your bank account and they'll steal your money. Then there's this thing called the charter web or the Bergy web, sometimes referenced in speculative or conspiracy theories, described as the edge between the accessible internet and truly hidden sectors. There's no real definition. It's often a vague term or misunderstood version of the deep web. And then there's the Marianas Web. Now, they're trying to say it's mythical. It's not. There's documentaries on the Marianas Web. The Marianas Web, per this article, says an urban legend of the deepest levels of the web, supposedly only accessible via quantum computing or special algorithms. Well, if that's the only way they can access it, then of course it exists. This is where secret government files are hidden. Artificial intelligence that controls internet algorithms are hidden. Hidden knowledge or ancient texts are on the Marianas Web. Even though it says in this article there's no credible evidence that Marianas Web exists, it's more of a cyber myth or internet creepypasta than a technical reality. Trust me, it exists. Don't venture around on that stuff because it's worse than you think. It's very bad. I only ventured there for research purposes because I'm a broadcast journalist and I wanted to see, is what they say is on the deep web, the dark web rather, was it just a bunch of hype? Nope. And now, some almost 14 years later, we come to find out that there are other even deeper levels of the internet as well. What do we learn today, everybody? Stop grinding and hustling and relax. Pursue a softer life. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting